Hello, my name is Chas with Heirloom Leaves and Seeds, and today I thought I'd show you how I soil block. I've been using the soil block method for several years now, and I think there is just a little bit of a learning curve with it. I've made just a few kind of rookie mistakes. Let's talk about soil blocking. Some of the advantages I have found from using soil blocks is that they take up a lot less space. Like this is the small tray and this is the smallest blocker size that I know of, and it's 3/4 inch. And this has 4 blocks this way and 5 this way, so you get 20 soil blocks per big block. So you'd get 20 seedlings here and then 20 here. So right here is 40. You can get 40 seedlings on this tray versus like a 72 cell tray that's, you know, the standard size. This isn't a 72 cell tray, but this is pretty much the same size as a 72 cell plug tray. And you know, if you think about it, here's 40. So 40, 80, 120. And you can pretty much put these, you know, on any sort of flat surface. And when it's cold outside and you're starting indoors, that real estate on your seed starting setup is very valuable. And with soil blocks, you can get a lot more seedlings per the square footage. I haven't really done the math because I kind of do a little bit of both. I'll do some 72 cell plugs, trays, and then I'll do some soil blocks. But for me, I only have 2 of the soil blockers. I have this one, it's a 3/4 of an inch size, and then this is the 2-inch size. And the cool thing about this is that these 2-inch soil blockers have an indentation. So when you press down, it puts an indent into the 2-inch soil block. So when your seedlings get too big for this size, you can upgrade it to the 2-inch. Now ideally, I like to just plant mine right from here out in the garden. But sometimes for the bigger things, you might need it, but I use this one the most. One other thing that I have learned is that the soil needs to have a lot more water in it than you think. That was my main problem, was when I was making these soil blocks, it would get crumbly, and whenever I'd water it, it'd start crumbling away. And over the years I found out that I was not adding enough water. And to know you've got enough water in there, you actually want to see water coming up through here. If it's too wet, when you go to take it out, the soil will just fall out. So then you know that's too much water, you can just add some more soil back in, and that'll dry it out a little bit. I just use any type of a good seed starting mix. I've used this, it's an organic seed starting mix, but any will do fine. You just don't want, you know, a bunch of sticks and rocks and stuff like that. Big pieces of bark. But I think those are the 2 main things you need to know. And I will show you from a distance making a few soil blocks, and then I will zoom in. So right off the bat, I know this is too dry. I've already pre-moistened the soil with some water, but it's still, I mean, you can see a little bit of water coming through and it's holding the shape, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And this can definitely be messy. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more, and this is what I use to stir it up. And I will try to kind of press it in like twice. So I'll go down, kind of get to the bottom, and then kind of have a look at it, make sure there's more soil down there, and then I'll press it down again. Now see, I don't quite see, oh, there's a little bit of water. So this is probably just a little bit dry, but then I take this and I kind of scrape off any excess. Then I put it in here. And you just kind of, I like to just push it down a little first, and then there you go. 20 soil blocks. So let's do the other one. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more water. I like to see it like when you move the soil around, just a little bit of water. Then I know I've got the right consistency. There's one. Here's two. All right. And then here's the second one. So right there is enough for 40 seedlings. And the little ones, they actually have just a little round divot, I guess you could call it, in here. And that's good for, especially like if a seed needs light to germinate. It's so nice just putting them right in that little divot, and then usually sprinkle with vermiculite. But all right, next I will zoom it in so you can get a closer look. Okay, here we have a close-up of me making a soil block. Here you can kind of see the consistency of the soil. And you want to scrape off the excess just so it sits flat in the tray. All right. Okay, so here's a little bit of a close-up. This one, you can see it, I don't know if you can see, but it just didn't quite form, but that's okay, it happens. I'm not too worried about it. And just in case you guys are wondering before I move on, if you notice that my water had like a tinge to it, that is because I've got cinnamon sticks in there. After I drink my tea, I will save the cinnamon sticks and I will let them collect in a jug of water. And that is because cinnamon can help with algae growth. Sometimes, usually it's if you overwater, but algae can form on the top of there and you don't want that. So I like to use the cinnamon sticks, and that helps with that a little bit. You know, anything that you can do to help, you know, the process go smoother, the better. Because cinnamon is antifungal, antimicrobial. It's just a good thing to give your seedlings a little extra help. Okay. A little bit more soil in there. I think we're good. Sometimes I'll go a few more times. You kind of get a feel for if it's in there good and it's going to make a good block. All right, so here is my third soil block. So we have 60 here, And then we have the 40 I made before. So here we've got 100, and I'm gonna do 3 more. So we'll have 160 total in such a small amount of space. Now, one thing I have learned about these trays, I will only buy this size from now on. And let me show you why. I've only seen the soil block trays in 2 sizes, the small and the large. And the small, you know, like I said earlier, you can get 1, 2, 3 in a flat bottom tray. Like this is the standard size. But let me show you something about the larger ones. It doesn't fit down in there. And believe it or not, you can't even get 2 this way. Very annoying. When you try to get the other one in there, it's too big. You can try doing this, just doesn't quite work. I mean, if you're really crafty, you might be able to just do this, but I don't like doing that because then you can't get, you know, something over the top. So I don't like these. I have to put, you know, be creative and put them in something else. I just like to stick to the standard. It's the easiest. So I only get the small size, but you know, I already have these, so I make do with it the best I can. But I'm not a fan of that size. But it's the end of the season and I am about out of space. I think next year I'm gonna invest in some more. But yeah, I keep increasing how many seeds I start every year, but not the trays. So I need to get more trays. Okay, that didn't fill in quite on that one corner. So let's get some more in there. All right. And you might be wondering, you know, why doesn't she just put some more soil in there? Because you want to be able to hit the bottom to pack it in there better. And if you have too much soil down there, it's going to be more difficult to get a nice clean compact. Like you don't want it too compact, but it definitely won't. It'll be too fluffy and just not in there good enough. So you always want to have contact with the bottom of whatever you're using to make the soil box. And I don't want to add any more soil because this is the last soil block I'm going to make. All right, that is the last one. So here is all 160 little 3/4 inch soil blocks. And you can get a lot started here. And just imagine when you do, you know, however many more you need. I mean, I've done hundreds, hundreds and hundreds. Sometimes it's surprising. You don't realize actually how many you're starting, so you have to plan ahead for that. The last thing I'm going to talk about is how to water these. You definitely always want to bottom water your soil blocks. And that was another mistake I did in the past, is I would try to just pour water in here with like a cup. You would never ever want to try to use like a watering can. That would wash away all your seeds, and if you put vermiculite on top, you know, it just washes everything away. And this is what I have found to be the best. It takes a little bit longer to water them this way, but no soil gets washed away. Your seeds are fine, and it just works perfect. And I'm not going to water this too much because they're already damp enough, but you just kind of go around the outside perimeter of the soil blocks, and they will just wick up as much water as they need. But you can see already that it has used up the water. In the past, I'd get so frustrated because I didn't have the right thing to water them with. And I would try, you know, very carefully to just put some water in there, and it would eat away at the soil block. And so I'd have blocks that had like dents in them, or one that would float away if they were dry. And so this has just been a game changer. But that's how I water them, and that's the way I have found success watering soil blocks. All right, that's everything for this video, and I will probably make another one showing you how I start seeds in the soil blocks. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.